Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of some F1 My Team career. Today we're doing episode number 13, is this? No, I don't think, we're not that close. Episode number 11, excuse me. I've just remembered the number now. For the Belgium Grand Prix of this only season that we're doing on F1 2020, of course, because we will be back for Season 2 next year. But looking at now, it's time to start investing in the car. We've got the driver, we just need to get the car, and we're going to put a major drag reduction upgrade on the car. That's going to come in after the Italian Grand Prix, which is annoying. So it should be on the car by the time for Japan, which may not be necessarily a bad thing. We're also going to go for a minor tyre wear upgrade just to give us that little bit extra edge with the strategy as well in these final few races of the season as well. We've got a press interview as well coming up with Will Buxton as well, so let's go and see what Will has to say. Of course, then we got the second season break because we've already had one already in this career mode. As you can see, we're still level with Haas as well on the R&D, so I'm looking to get those parts in as quickly and as quickly as possible, and hopefully they make the major improvements to the car.
Thanks so much for the invitation to your HQ. Let's have a little chat about the team's performance this season. George Russell is a promising young driver. Will you be giving him the chance to shine in your team?
Be giving him more of a chance than Mercedes are giving him at the moment. That's for definite. No, yes, we want to see him get the points basically.
A solid mid-tier team. What do you think will take your team to the next level?
Ignoring those answers there, I know what it needs to be. We need to be consistent, more consistently, because so far we've got points, so we just need to get there. We demand dedication from everyone, of course,
Will your
to
team
improve.
be going for the Constructors' Championship this season, or just for points?
We're way off. Mercedes have won every race so far. Lewis Hamilton, I'm not joking. The standings in this career, it's like what we feared in real life.
Long term, or will you be looking for someone else if you're successful?
Well, we need George to start scoring points. I know that the car isn't the best at the moment.
Well, thanks a lot for inviting us here. It's been fantastic. Hey, boss.
Well, there we go. That was Will kindly coming down to our HQ at Bournemouth to see what we had to say. But now we're going to start the season break. But yes, with George, if he scores points, then there's no reason why we don't keep him on to next year's game. That ultimately, hopefully, if he's not in the game. So yes, episode round 11, they're confirmed. But I'm thinking about where we upgrade next. Now we've opened up the R&D side on the powertrain, on the aero. Maybe we go for some resource points generation, get some more resource points generation, and just gun it for the rest of the season. Again, I'm not entirely sure about that. In terms of the resource points, actually very few people have upgraded over the summer break. Renault and pretty much Racing Point and Alfa Romeo are the only three teams that have really, and AlphaTauri actually are the only three teams that still, which means that ourselves and Haas are literally separated by absolutely nothing again. But we will hopefully get some big upgrades on the car by the time we get to Japan. But qualifying is wet. It's going from wet to dry. We haven't had the best of times in qualifying lately. We've been out in Q1 a couple of times recently. It's a long time since we had that Q3 slot at Austria, where we knocked out Sebastian Vettel as we struggle completely in the thing, and then our front wing just flies off there. Yeah, we were the rain, qualifying in intermediate conditions. It's just, I'll tell you what it's like. The rain in the race, intermediate conditions aren't too bad, depending on how wet the track is. But in qualifying, they're disastrous. Anyway, we come through to the end of Q1. You can see here that we've got soft tyres on as the Williams gets out of our way. I'm not sure where he should be on he hasn't timed his fast lap. You can see Russell's also coming in behind us as well. Magnussen has set a time that's ahead of Grosjean, De Vries and Latifi on a set of inters. And I'm pretty sure there's some other people. There's some tyre glitch with that where they are on softs, but the game's shown them as inters. But yeah, we're 10.5 seconds up on our previous time. I don't know though if this is going to be enough. The car hasn't looked the best around here. We could do with a few engine upgrades, to be fair. Actually, 12.5 second improvement on our previous best time, but it's only enough for P18, which puts us out of Q1. So I think it's more the car really here today, because again, Ricardo, another one with that glitch, because George Russell is 17th as well, only a little bit so a bit more improvements could be better for us. But enough about that though. It's time for the race. It's time for a dry, I should say, Belgium Grand Prix.
We're in Belgium once again for today's round of the Formula One World Championship. It's a race the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019 Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since Michael Schumacher in 1992. Spa-Francorchamps today, a circuit that spans 4.35 miles. There are tons of elevation changes along the way too. 19 corners making up this circuit, with 9 of those to the right and the remaining 10 to the left. This track is a great one for fans of pure speed. The average lap speed comes close to a whopping 145 miles an hour. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Max Verstappen and Albon, Ricciardo, Sainz, Norris and Sergio Perez, Gasly, Stroll, Daniel Kvyat and Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Russell, the owner driver and Kevin Magnussen, Grosjean, De Vries, Latifi and Esteban Ocon rounds off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
So yes, here we are on the grid. P17, because Ocon's got a penalty, we'll have to watch out for him coming through the field later on. The strategy, I'm going to change it up a bit. We are going to try the medium to soft strategy again. I think we can make this work. Again, I know that it's not worked in previous episodes because we haven't had the pace, but today I think we will have the pace to make it work. So we're going to try something a little bit different, a little bit further down the order than we would like. Private lights come on anyway, and away we go for the Belgian Grand Prix. It's a good start. We get ahead of Raikkonen and Russell off the start. We're going to dive it down the inside and get multiple overtakes, going 4 wide at one point with Gasly and the 2 McLarens, but we have to cut them off because of course our angle turning wasn't very good. But Norris is going to come back at us already. Sainz is going to try and stay ahead of us right now. He try and chases after Ricciardo for the sort of the best of the rest as the Mercedes and Ferraris and the 2 Red Bulls lead the way. So we move to lap 2. Norris is closing. He's got a better exit into turn 1. He's trying to go side by side through RADILLON, and I think there was contact as well. I'll confirm that in a little bit in a moment when we'll take a look at that. Yes, there was contact there. I saw a bit of Norris's front wing go flying off, and he's he's going to leave himself susceptible, although I think the Racing Point does have a go at him, but no, doesn't get anything done. As Daniel Ricciardo is going to have a look at Max Verstappen. So this is for 6th place, and Ricciardo goes through Verstappen on the mediums, as are the two Ferraris and the Mercs. So this is of course before the new patches come out, so we'll see how everybody performs in the new patch next week. But as Leclerc now is having a go at Lewis Hamilton, this is for 2nd place. Bottas has the lead. Mercedes of course have won all the races so far, but Hamilton actually squeezes Leclerc out in the end, and there is confirmation that Norris's right front end plate is definitely missing, so we definitely need to make this work, try and build up a gap, but I'm sure it's not going to be too long. In actual fact, here it is. Gasly's already overtaken him, so that's the gap we've got over Gasly. We'll see if we can keep him ahead, the AlphaTauri driver ahead. AlphaTauri aren't too far in front of us though, compared to the likes of Racing Point, Renault and McLaren, as Norris now is having a very ding-dong battle with Sergio Perez. Lance Stroll's already got past. There he is, flashing through the shot. They go side by side, almost through into this middle sector, and I was thinking the next corner is now Pouon, but Perez gets the better traction out the corner, and fortunately they don't go through side by side and Pouon. If we jump back to our POV, lap 11, Valtteri Bottas has come out the pits. He's doing something a little bit different. I think he's trying, I don't know why, but he's gone on to hard, so I'm not sure if the Mercedes don't think that the tyres will last, because obviously the default for all of us out on mediums is to go on to soft tyres, which we'll be doing now on the end of lap 13, as virtual safety cars deployed for Danny Kvyat. He's returned with an engine failure. We're still yet to see the full safety car in this series, even though we've seen it counted a lot of times in the driver career modes as we're coming into this very awkward pit lane. I've never liked this pit lane exit. Tyres are about 50%, so it's about time we switched on to the softs, see what we can do. Although I don't think we're going to be able to catch them to cars in front. I think that the likes of Sainz, Verstappen, well, it looks like it's just going to be Verstappen ahead of us, because Sainz has gone through already, and we've not even made our stop yet, so they're going to be a good 7 seconds. A very good stop though, 2 seconds. We're going to be comfortably in front of the Racing Points, who have got, I think Gasly had to make a front wing change, which is why he's not there, as Lewis Hamilton is out of the race with an engine failure, so he's not going to make it 4 wins in a row. Bottas will be holding the flag to make sure Mercedes continue their 100% winning form, as we also look now behind us at Esteban Ocon, who started last in this Grand Prix and is now ahead of battling the 2 Racing Points, both of them who lock up. Perez and Stroll are swapped around as well, as Ocon looks around the outside of Pouon, trying to have a look at Perez, but Perez closes the door on the Frenchman in the Renault and retains his position. As we look ahead now to lap 18 of 22, Sainz is now going to have a look around the outside of Alex Albon, who's going very slowly in this race. This is even before he's got his little nerve in driver performance, but out of Eau Rouge on the following lap, lap 19, Sainz is a lot closer and will have the DRS. Albon has dropped the DRS to Ricciardo, and Sainz breezes through, and I'm sure now Verstappen now on those soft tyres hasn't made too much of an impact. You expect him to be ahead, being able to challenge Sainz and Ricciardo at least, who are not too far away from him, but he hasn't shown the pace, and by the time he doesn't manage to get him into turn 1, but through Eau Rouge, unlike Norris, he's very patient through RADILLON on Eau Rouge and just waits to get the DRS and then just breezes past his teammate. But that's where we are. Ocon and Perez were catching me towards the end with the last lap, but they ran out of laps really. The tyre wear did start to go off the route. The tyre was sort of dropped massively. But nevertheless, it's a fantastic result for us. A little bit isolated really in terms of racing performance really, in terms of the second half, but 8th place is a result that we will definitely take. It's our first points in Austria as well, so that is definitely good. But yeah, Bottas continues Mercedes' 100% record. That Ricciardo gets put 4th, Sainz in 5th. They'll too be happy with those results. We'll see if that's Ferrari's last podium potentially, and with Vettel and Leclerc in the second and third after this weekend, after the new performance pack. Red Bull, I think, would have probably wanted to have finished 4th and 5th, but the performance there really wasn't there for us, and we really couldn't catch them ahead. Ocon, I think, probably deserves a new contract at Renault for the second season with a performance like that. Russell, he did make up performance, but we need to get R&D on the car, which we have developments coming on all fronts really. Durability is the only department we really don't need to upgrade. But in terms of the driver standings, we retain P9, 1 point behind Sergio Perez. I think we could probably get him. Russell is still pointless in this series, but I'm hoping that we can have more of a fluke of an episode maybe. I'm hoping that we get more of an exciting episode. Brazil is a big target for points for us. McLaren are 6th place. That position happened last episode. I don't know why they're showing it off. They've closed up to Racing Point. They're only 3 points behind. We've gained on AlphaTauri, so that's really where we don't want to be falling behind AlphaTauri. I think if we target 7th place, I think 6th or above is too much of a stretch.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. You gained a lot of positions during the race.
Well, being able to dive on everybody down into turn 1, breezing past everybody, it's great.
We all underestimated you, didn't we?
Yes, you underestimated my efforts to dive on everybody and the pace that we had today to be able to effectively hold on to P8.
Great. Well, that's everything.
2 quick questions there. At least you didn't hold us up too much. I know how she can rattle on for half a year, sometimes clear. But driver claims going up well. We're up to level 12, so we can comfortably get level 15 by the end of the season. But we do need upgrades. We've got a short run to the Italian Grand Prix, and after that it's a big break to the Japanese Grand Prix, where we will have another season break of 3 days, unfortunately, because that's the way it goes. But I'm not entirely sure where we should spend the money next. I'm thinking about doing a resource run generation upgrade on the aero side, just to have that up. We've also got, although we could go for a fabrication upgrade on the aero, that's where I'm thinking of going at. We're not going to do any upgrades on the durability department because we don't need it. Maybe personnel, but I think George is highly rated. He's got a boost anyway from the new driver stats, so he should be fine with his growth. Anyway, from the spec 1 that we've already got. So yes, I'm thinking maybe soon we'll be going for the weight redistribution upgrade. That's one to target. I want to also look at that major engine upgrade, but that weight redistribution upgrade is going to shoot us high up the performance on the Sashi side, so we can get that. Again, we need more R&D points to be able to do it. The weight reduction upgrade, I don't know if we'll do it or not. We'll have to wait and see, and then probably do, as I said, we'll do this major engine power upgrade as well, and then we'll look at the two aero upgrades, and that'll probably be it for this season on the R&D front. And that is where I'm going to leave it for today's episode. If you have enjoyed, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel for new, see more episodes of the F1 2020 My Team Crew as when they come out every Thursday at 7 PM on the channel. Until the next VR time, take care, thank you so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.